Joe Montana, one of the all-time greats. Joe, it's great to see you. Thanks for joining us.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Always good to be here.
A legend. I mean, I feel like we can't be at the Super Bowl without talking to Joe Montana. Even though you made me cry a lot as a kid. Do you know that? You really did.
I don't know.
It's a love-hate relationship.
Yes,
between...
it was for a long time.
We were talking about that earlier, Joe. The 80s, the 49ers, the Giants, Washington,
Bears.
Dallas was still relevant. The Bears. I mean, what a time for football.
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
Right?
Well, sometimes.
Sometimes. When Jim Byrne wasn't crushing it or something like that.
Yeah, it was. I mean, we had some great rivalries going on. I mean, even the Redskins were playing well, too.
Right.
Into there. The NFC was pretty strong back then. And Saints.
Did you feel like it was more personal then? Like we were talking about it a little earlier, like he was saying, where now with like salary cap and free agency, where I feel like there was genuine, like, I don't like the Giants and those guys there. And, like, I felt like Dad was the same towards the 49ers.
It was for the longest time.
Right.
And it's so funny when you talk about your dad. We had this thing going back and forth, and neither one of us knew why until my wife asked me, why don't you like him? I don't know. She goes, why don't you go up and talk to him? And I did, and we've been good friends.
We've been good friends ever since.
He couldn't figure it out either. I don't know. Maybe we just played against each other, and neither team liked each other, and then he ends up, working with the boys on throwing the football. How about that?
Well, let me see if I can.
My boys.
Right. It is crazy. It's full circle. Let me see. I feel like I've heard him say this. Dad was quite animated when he used to throw touchdowns.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And I feel like he went like pump fist over at your sideline once.
He used to
shoot in the guns or do that,
yeah.
right? Right? And then I believe it might have been the 88 game when you threw the long touchdown to win it, 17-14.
I did it back.
You went back, right?
Yeah.
I think that's where it started, which I wish we had.
No, it was long before that.
It was long before that?
Yeah,
Okay.
Oh, yeah, they played us so tough and
right.
well. And, it was fun games. Well, not fun games when you look back on them. They were tough
rugged.
ones. We had a good defense. They had a good defense.
Can you believe the quarterbacks now, how they don't get hit like you used to? Are you envious of that? Are you look at it and go, I would have played 10 more years?
I know. Yeah, you are. I mean, when you look at it, it's at that level of, when you get
Jeez.
We're bringing out all your
was
greatest
Marshall.
hits. You can
Here's
tell
Jim.
that my dad was on the
Jim
Giants and I'm one of the hosts of the show.
This is the one. Look, I just dodged LT and I thought I had it made.
Did you have somebody open too? Jerry was open?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And I just dodged LT and I'm going, in my mind. And I saw Jerry and I was just getting ready to throw. And he hit me with a full speed run.
Oh my gosh, right.
Yeah.
And it would have been penalized and you got a first down now.
I know.
Right?
I know exactly.
The guy would have kept going.
I tell him all the time that I don't know how his dad survived playing on that green cement
no.
with the rules that were in place at the time. I go watch games from the 80s on YouTube, and just the way quarterbacks got hit, receivers got hit, the game was so much more brutal than it is today, and it's been a slow evolution. It's good for the game, it's good for the players, but I have even more respect for guys like you that lived through that somehow.
Yeah, there's been an evolution over time, and even if you look at the game from 20 years before I played, and before there were Super Bowls, there was a guy that won 11 championships in the NFL, and it's just that the game's going to do that, and obviously so many injuries and the head injury things are there's enough injury in the game so they're trying to take out the big ones, the big hits, the big stuff where, like for a quarterback, getting that
pile drive
you into the ground. You're the only guy getting hit standing still by a guy who outweighs you by 150 pounds.
Yeah, that's right.
And so I think they get it. I'm all for hitting the quarterback. Just don't
overdo it.
Don't overdo it.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, because when you get that feeling that you're off balance, then they're trying to hurt you,
pick you up and do the body weight thing.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but the game's still fun to watch. It's
what was the? I feel like we always ask you about all your great Super Bowl moments. I've never asked you what was the best team you were on that didn't win the Super Bowl? What was the one team you look at to go, man, we were really good that year, and it just
we were really good the year we lost to Washington, and we were a really good year.
83, you mean that year? 83, you lost in Washington, right? In the championship game.
Well, we had two phantom calls down the stretch to let them kick and win.
Right, they were up 21-3 on you guys, and you came back, right?
Yeah, and then right at the end we had 2 defensive penalties that put him in field goal position.
That were suspect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other one was the one where I got hurt. We just saw that. Well, that team was pretty good.
Yeah, that was 90.
Yeah.
Right. 14 and 2.
And that was going for 3 in a row. That would have been 3 in a row, and it
row.
felt like it was going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. We were pretty good that whole stretch. You know, I would joke with Eddie. I go, well, Eddie, if I'd have stuck around, we might have won more
Won
than
a few
one. More than one.
Damn, I like it. Give it to him, Joe. That's
joke.
right.
Eddie's still a tremendous friend, and love him to death.
Did you ever get nervous? What was the most nervous Joe Montana was? Joe Cool. What was the most nervous you were in a football game in your life?
I would probably say the first Super Bowl you went to, because you just don't know what to expect. And when you get there, and then you get here, and it's craziness.
Right.
And, you're doing it for the first time. And then, once the game kicks off, you get hit once, and then you're like, God,
football.
I know where I am.
Right.
Yeah, better get back over here. So.
Joe, who's the guy now playing quarterback that reminds you the most of you?
I don't ever try to compare. I just watch guys for what they do. They're all so different. I mean, you look at, and then, damn, they're big.
Right?
Oh my gosh.
Right?
I mean, look at Jalen.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
The thickness. There's
he's
more
big.
muscle structure
And
to these guys.
I was standing next to the guys and with the Chargers.
Oh, Justin Herbert. He's like RoboCop.
Man, hurting my neck. It's like, golly. But they're fun. He's fun. Obviously Josh is fun to watch.
Yeah,
Buffalo.
Josh Allen. Yeah.
You got Burrows is fun. I mean,
Right.
there's a lot of good.
Burrow's the one that reminds me the most of you. Just cool,
I
calm,
haven't
gets
watched
it
a lot
done.
of them play too much till the playoffs. Yeah.
Right.
But I mean, similar style, kind of style, but I don't know.
Yeah. It's amazing where the positions almost evolved from, your now sidearm throws and back foot, right? Like all this stuff is like just part of the game where it was such no-nos growing up watching you and my dad play and do that.
Can't throw sidearm.
Right. Yeah. Don't throw off your back foot.
Yeah.
Don't throw late over the middle, right?
Exactly.
Now it's like every game, it's a few times.
Yep. Yeah, now you see it all the time.
Joe's here on behalf of Advanced Auto Parts. Joe, tell us what you have going on with them.
Yeah, no, I'm just here to help them promote this promotion they got going, and it's kind of a fun one. They call it the most valuable play. So if any quarterback or any player throws a touchdown pass over 25 yards, if you're registered for the promotion at advancedautoparts.com,
right.
Prior to the start of the game,
Ooh.
you have a chance to be one of the 25 people who win gas for life. I mean, not for life, sorry, gas for a year, and a $500 gift certificate to Advance. So a little bit of a fun promotion. When you look at the playoffs so far, I don't believe there have been any in the playoffs over 25 yards.
That's crazy. Actually, when you were saying that, I was kind of going through my brain. I was going, you're right, I don't remember a lot of
in the last 10 Super Bowls, there's only been 5.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And neither one of these guys have them.
I would think that would have been easy
playoffs.
money.
Yeah.
I would go, man, sign up. You're crazy not to do this.
No, I think there might be 11 in the. There might be 11. I can't remember the exact part of that, but I think it might be 11 in the playoffs. But neither one of these guys have one.
Right.
And it's a little fun promotion to keep you watching the game a little bit.
Man, that's a really good one. All right, can I ask him one more fun one?
Go ahead.
I've always wanted to ask him this, and it's Giants 49ers related. When my dad and Ronnie Lott got in the fight after the game in the 90 Monday night game, right? You guys were both 10-1. The 7-3. Here's the clip. Were you aware of this going on, or this building up to this during this week?
No, not at all.
Not at all. You
No.
had no idea. Do you remember this kind of going on after the game at all?
Oh, I heard about it after, but I usually got off the field pretty fast.
Right.
The kicker's in there trying to break
Matt
it up.
Barr's in there. There's Matt Millen in there. There's a lot of people. The story that my dad had always told is Jim Burt instigated it and was telling the defensive guys that Phil had no respect for you guys through the years. Right?
I wouldn't doubt it if you know Jim. There's another kick. Oh, he's a
piece of work,
funny, funny guy. Oh my gosh.
Right.
Yeah. In fact, when your dad was working with my boys throwing the football, we were working out in
his bubble.
In his bubble.
Throwing the footballs,
in Jim
right.
Burt's bubble. Yeah.
Right,
So
right.
it was kind of crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy.
You made a
Jim
little
was-
stir earlier this week by suggesting the 49ers go off the board. No Trey Lance, no Brock Purdy, but Jimmy Garoppolo back next year. At a time it looks like they're moving on. Why do you think they should stick with Jimmy?
Well, I say that with one pretense is that if Purdy's not healthy, I think if Purdy's healthy, I think it's his job.
You go with him.
I don't know what's going on with Jimmy. I don't go down there, so I don't know firsthand. I would just say if it's me, I'm looking at Jimmy's already gotten and won big games for you, and a lot of games for you. It's trouble keeping him healthy, but until you can prove that Purdy's healthy, you've got a team that's loaded.
Well, then you got Trey Lance that they gave up all that to get 3 first-round picks plus.
Do you think
he's not
he's
ready? No,
I don't think he's ready yet.
Yeah,
I don't think he's 100. I don't think he's ready to take that caliber team. Talented kid, and he might be partway through the year if he gets more starts. I don't know, but do you want to turn over a team that you want to get off to a great start with a guy that you still might have a question about?
Right.
And that's the thing, is that there's a guy on your roster already. So I don't know how you get rid of him until you make sure the other kid they just tore. I think it's the Tommy John thing.
Right.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
That anytime you do a ligament in your arm and your throwing arm, I mean, I tore this off the bone, and this is a cakewalk compared to what he's going to go through in rehab. But obviously the medical advances have gotten better. But hey, I got a guy that can win. Maybe he gets hurt again. I don't know, but I can't discard him until I find out what's up with Purdy.
It's amazing how stacked the 49ers are. At a time when it's quarterback-driven, the 49ers are loaded. They just need a quarterback that can get them over the top.
Yeah.
They needed Joe Montana.
Yeah.
This would be a good team for Joe Montana to play for.
I was throwing balls in the Rose Bowl last Sunday.
You feel good? You getting it out there?
Yeah, I hit that 93-year-old guy right in stride.
Oh, that's awesome. Were you always a little surprised by the fact that the 49ers, wanted to part ways with you, as you were kind of joking about with Eddie DeBartolo? I mean, you won 4 Super Bowls. You're in the NFC Championship game. You're probably going to win if you don't get hurt, because Steve fumbles the handoff when they're running the clock out, right?
And the thing is that I just had one of the best years I had. I didn't.
Sports Illustrated Sportsman of the Year. I mean, I remember.
All I wanted was. Steve had a decent year the next year.
Yeah.
But all I said is, look, I just don't to not play at all. I don't get it. I don't get it. You want me to compete for the job? Fine. But to put me as second, I'm not staying for that.
Right.
And if you want to make the change, fine. I got it. But I know I'm better than that. And so I'm not going to finish my career sitting on the bench.
Right.
I'm going to find a place to play.
And proved it.
Dang, we should have won. We should have gone to the Super Bowl.
So 91,
you
were healthier to come back. Because I feel like they were playing a little bit of like, you weren't healthy. You were.
Oh, yeah, I was healthy at least halfway through the season, if not more.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. There you have it.
Well, there it is. Straight from the horse's mouth. One of the all-time greats. Pleasure and honor to have him here.
You guys.
Joe Montana.
Joe Montana.
All-time in the Super Bowl.
Tell your
Pantheon of all-time greats. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.